السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We continue inshallah ta'ala with our durus pertaining to the Arabic language, our Arabic language session of our program Summer with Surah Al-Baqarah. Before we get into the actual class, we need to do some evaluation. Exam. Ready? Now, when you complete something, right, the purpose of studying the Arabic language is to understand the Arabic language, right? That's the purpose of studying the Arabic language, to gain the understanding of the Arabic language. So when you complete something, the more you complete, your understanding should increase. If you find I did all of the Marina books, and you still don't know basic stuff, right? That is not completing the Maribu. You got to start back again, right? So don't just complete stuff to just complete it, right? And for those who find it to be too fast, as we mentioned, the nature of this course is a crash course. What you just focus on comprehending the vocabulary and memorizing phrases. That is where you need to focus on. If you grasp some of the concept, alhamdulillah. If you don't grasp it, don't focus on that part. Right? Just focus every day. Make sure you increase in your vocabulary and you learn a few new phrases. If you do that consistently for half a year, you're going to see a big difference in the way you comprehend the language. Just those two things. Every day, increase in your vocabulary. And we recommend 3 words, not more than 5, that you at least memorize, and learn 1 or 2 phrases. Like memorize the entire phrase. If you merge the 2, it's good. Right? Learn 1 or 2 phrases. For example, a phrase, kaifa haluka. Right? Everyone knows. Kaifa haluka, how is your state? How are you? That's a phrase. And a vocab going to be like you learn what's bait, what's column, what's kitab. You learn 3 vocabulary. And if you learn the vocabulary in a phrase, that's going to make it easier to understand. If you do those 2 things, and for those who you still have difficulty listening to a lecture and comprehending most of it, or reading a book with the vowels and comprehending most of it, you need to do the same thing also. Every day, make sure you're learning some new vocabulary, right? 3, recommend even if you do 1, that's good. Even if you do 1 single word, every day you're making sure you learn 1 new word and you learn 1 new phrase. Don't worry about comprehending how the phrase is formed. Any phrase, just find a sentence that you know, you memorize, you understand each word in the sentence and you memorize the phrase. For example, like let's say, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. ذَلِكَ, you know ذَلِكَ means that, al-kitab means book, la means negation, raib means doubt, fihi means in it. So that's the vocab. And you memorize ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. That is the book, there is no doubt in it. Right? You're not comprehending the structure, meaning when you're saying ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, the words is not clicking with you. You understand the individual words, but the sentence as a whole is not clicking. Don't worry about that as yet. But memorize the entire statement with the meaning. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, that is the book, there is no doubt in it. You're going to be creating a lot of patterns. So again, the least two things that you should be doing: some new vocabulary every day and some new phrase. At maybe 1 to 3 vocab and 1 or 2 new phrase you memorize every day. That's the least, right? Especially for those who find it to be difficult. Those who already in, then increase it, especially with the phrase. Increase the phrases that you memorize, and don't just comprehend it, memorize it. So we have to start. We're going to be lesson 11. Inshallah ta'ala. Today's class going to be surrounding verse 142 and 143 of Surah Al-Baqarah. There's no handout. All who asking for handout, we know you're not paying attention. Right? That's why we're going to penalize them. They got to bring lunch or something. النص, the text: سيقول السفهاء من الناس ما ولاهم عن قبلتهم التي كانوا عليها قل لله المشرق والمغرب يهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم وكذلك جعلناكم أمة وسطا لتكونوا شهداء على الناس ويكون الرسول عليكم شهيدا وما جعلنا القبلة التي كنت عليها إلا لنعلم من يتبع الرسول ممن ينقلب على عقبيه. Now I didn't read it with tajweed, right? Just to get the words and to comprehend the verse. Now one of the things, if anytime you notice in a verse, all of the words you know them, but when you listen to it, it's not clicking. Read it as if you're speaking without the idgham, without the margin. Because if your ear is not accustomed to it fully, the words can be lost for you when they are merged. So you might, for example, this word here, mimmay yanqalibu. For an ear that is not accustomed to the Arabic, it might hear this mimma yanqalib as one word until you see it. Right? Until you see it, then you realize it's mimman yanqalib. And that's why we said you gotta listen and listen till the ears get used to the Arabic. The vocabulary, sayaqulu, the scene here is for the future. Yaqulu means he says by itself, right? Yaqulu means he says. So sayaqulu means he will say. Now as-sufaha means what? The fools are the ignorant ones. Sufaha is a plural, right? It means fools or ignorant individual. It can carry those two meanings. Foolish individuals or ignorant individuals. Now remember when we dealt with verse, what we say, verbs, if the verb come before the subject of it, right? The noun that is carrying out the verb remains singular always. So we're not going to say, he says the foolish ones. No, the foolish one says, right? The foolish one says. And how we know that the foolish one, they are the one who are speaking? Because of this Dhamma. Right? Because of the Dhamma. Sayaqulu sufaha, the foolish one will say, or the foolish ones, the foolish among the people, they will say, min annas, min means from, annas, the people, from among the people. What is it they will say? Ma wallahum. Ma here is for questioning. What? Ma walla. Walla means to turn away. But this is when you turn something else away. Walla, when you turn something else away. So hum means them. So what turn them away? What turn them away? Walla is to turn away, to turn something away. But you're not going to say walla if it's a reciprocal, meaning it go back to you. You want to say, I turned away. You're not going to use this word, right? Because walla is when you're turning something else away. So what turned them away? An qiblatihim. From an, qibla is qibla, your qibla, right? The direction of the Kaaba or the direction of your worship. Him is them. Qiblatihim, from their qibla. What turned them away from their qibla. Now note the word that is used for from when it's talking about turning something from. You're not going to say min. You're going to say an. Right? Just know that. Following the pattern, right? You want to say something, turn something away from. Which word you're going to use for that from there? An. You're not going to use min. What turned them away from their qibla? Allati. What is allati? Which. Right? Their qibla. Which. Why is it allati and not alladhi? Because qibla is feminine, right? Their qibla. What turned them away from their qibla, which kanu, they were, alayha, upon it. Which they were upon it. Meaning which they were upon. Right? In English, we say, what turned them away from their qibla, which they were upon, or that they were upon. Right? There's a difference between using which and that. Right? But that is English grammar. You just fix it. Which one? Don't worry with. Don't trust my English. Right? So what turned them away from their qibla? Which one what the translation have? Which they were upon. Now in English we don't repeat that the pronoun, right? We don't say which they were upon it. But note in Arabic it's repeated. You don't worry right now why it's repeated. Right? You just understand that ha goes back to what? The qibla. Which they were upon it. And the likes of these statements, you read it loud. Even if you don't understand why that it remains, if you constantly come across it in context, it's going to eventually make sense to you naturally. Right? But it's important you read loud. Ma wallahum an qiblatihim allati kanu alayha. Ma wallahum an qiblatihim allati kanu alayha. What turned them away from their qibla, which, or that, which they were upon it. Qul, say, Lillahil mashriq. Say, Lillah, belonging to Allah, al-mashriq, the east, wal maghrib, and the west. Belonging to Allah is the east and the west. Yahdi, he guides, man, whoever, whomsoever, whoever, whom, yasha, he wills, he guides, whomsoever he wish, ila, to, siratin, sirat means straight path, mustaqimin means straight, So siratin mustaqim means straight path, right? In Arabic, noun before adjective. And remember, everything match. Sirat, no alif and lam. Mustaqim, no alif and lam. Kasra, kasra. Masculine, masculine. Right? Yahdi, he guides whomsoever, whoever, who he wishes to a straight path. Whomever Allah wish, he guides them to a straight path. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ. Wa is an. كَذَلِكَ means like that. كَذَلِكَ means like that. Here they say and thus, right? Like that and or thus. But if you say like that, it's going to match the wording more, because ka is one word and dhalika is, you can say another word, right? Ka is the thing that shows similarity. Ka, like or as, similar. And dhalika is the that. So ka, dhalika is like that, meaning and thus or like that. Ja'alnakum. Ja'alna means we made. Right? We did ja'ala in Quran many places. Right? Ja'ala means he made. Ja'alna, we made. Kum is you. Ummatan wasata. Umma means nation. Wasata, wasat means middle. And like that we made you a middle nation. And like that we made you a middle nation. Right? A moderate nation, a middle nation. And the tafsir, you're going to deal with that, inshallah. وَمَا جَعَلْنَا الْقِبَلَ. Now this ma here is negation. Ja'alna means we made. So ma ja'alna means we didn't made. We didn't make. Right? The ma before was what? Question. Ma wallahum. What turned them away? And here, ma ja'alna. We didn't made. Al-qibla allati kunta alayha. There is something weary. Oh, we jump. That's why some. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَى. Sorry. And like that, we made you a middle nation. Why we made you a middle nation? Or from the reason why we made you a middle nation? Li, so, lam there is for reason. Takunu, you will all be, so that you will all be shuhada'a ala nas. You will all be, shuhada means witnesses, right? Ala nas, upon the people. Wa yakuna ar-rasulu alaykum shahida. And the messenger will be upon you a witness. Right? Shahid, witness. Shuhada, witnesses. وَمَا جَعَلْنَا. And we did not make al-qibla, the qibla, right? The direction. The qibla referring to here, the direction of worship. We didn't make the qibla, the direction of worship, allati, which, or that which, kunta gonna mean what? You were. Kana, he was. Kunta, you were. Right? Remember, kana has a weak letter in the middle. And we said when there is weak letters, the word is gonna look a little different. Right? So this is like qala, he said. Qulta, you said. Qultu, I said. So that which kunta, you were, alayha, upon it. So we didn't make the qibla which you were upon it. And you see the it repeat itself again, right? In English, we're going to say which you are upon. Right? Which you are upon. We didn't make the qibla that which you are upon, the ha referring back to the qibla, illa, except, li na'lama. Li, reason again, na'lama. We know, right? Except to know. Except to know. Now remember, who is it knowing? We. So the verb going to be conjugated appropriately. Illa lina'lama. Except to know. Man, whoever. Yattabi'u. Yattabi' means follows. Yattabi'u means follows. Right? Ar-Rasul, the messenger. Mimman. Now mimman is min and man. Mimman is min from man who. Yanqalibu means to turn back. Yanqalibu means to turn back or to flip over or flip back or turn back upon. It's used with ala. Right? So except to know who is going to follow the messenger, mimman, from the one who, meaning in compared to the one who, yanqalibu ala aqibai, who's going to flip back or turn back upon his two heels. Aqibun, aqib means heel. So aqibai ni, remember we did the dual. We did it, right? We did it or not yet? Yeah, we briefly did with yadain. Yadain, okay. Yeah, it's in this chapter. So aqibaihi gonna mean his two heels. Now this is a metaphoric or figurative statement. Who is gonna turn back or flip back upon his heels, meaning retract, right? Go back to misguidance or retract to what he was upon. So that's the vocabulary. So make sure you understand each vocab, read the sentences, the verses until you get the general meaning, and that's sufficient. With regards to the structure, you have to, as you study the language, get exposed to it, study the grammar, that's going to come, insha'Allah ta'ala. Okay, the related vocabulary. Even with the note, right? Making it a habit to write, it's going to help retain, especially if you make it a habit to write all the new words you come across. Every time you come across a new words, you write it. Even if you did it before and you forget, you write it back. It's going to help in retaining it. Now, safi, sufaha, that's the word that came in the vocabulary, correct? Now, there's a verb for it, safiha. Safiha means he was ignorant or he acted foolishly. You did something that didn't make sense, right? Safiha. You acted foolishly or you were ignorant. And the foolishness is the safa. Safa, you said this person has safa in him, that's the foolishness, right? And both of these words are in the Quran. One is in Surah Al-Baqarah and the next one is in Surah Al-An'am. Right? إِلَّا مَنْ سَفِهَ نَفْسَهُ وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ عَنْ مِلَّةِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ إِلَّا مَنْ سَفِهَ نَفْسَهُ. And in Surah Al-An'am, قَدْ خَسِرَ الَّذِينَ قَتَلُوا أَوْلَادَهُمْ سَفَهًا. Right? Those who kill their children out of foolishness, without any knowledge, they are losers. Safa. And safi is singular for foolish. And this is in Surah Al-Baqarah also, safi. Right? In the longest verse of the Quran. What is the verse? وَإِنْ كَانَ سَفِيهًا أَوْ ضَعِيفًا. If he is ignorant or he is weak and he can't write, then let someone else dictate and write for him. And sufaha is the foolish or the ignorant people. Walla, as we said, means when you turn something else away, right? He turned away something. And meaning he turns something away or turns something back. Right? It's something could have got it in. You understand why they're back there? Either you turn something away from something or you turn them back upon something. It's two different meaning. Because if you face in somewhere, for example, and someone come and turn your face, that's turning away. And if someone is to misguide someone, for example, that's turning them back, right? So walla is you turn something away or you turn something back upon whatever state they were. The present tense, yuwalli, and the one who is doing this turning is muwallin or al-muwalli. Right? Now, tawalla came from the same word. This tawalla is if you turn away yourself. So if you want to say, I turn away, without mentioning an object that you turn away, you just want to say, I turn away. Right? Like in English, I turn away from you. You're going to use tawalla. Right? And this is a lot in the Quran. Also, tawallaka means to take charge, to be the wali of someone. Right? وَتَوَلَّنَا فِي مَنْ تَوَلَّيْتِ in the dua for kunut. Tawallana, O Allah, tawallana. Meaning, take us as your awliya, فِي مَنْ تَوَلَّيْتِ. Right? There's a... yeah, from among those whom you have taken charge of. Yatawalla is the present tense. Istaqama, in the context we had the word mustaqim, means upright, straight. The verb for it is istaqama. Now, studying these, it's going to help fast forward your Arabic understanding through the Arabic. And also you're going to realize how many words there are not in English. By learning where the words come from and the relationship or what you call it, what pattern is the word. Because there are many nouns in English, there is not a verb for it. And there are many verbs, there's no noun for it. There's no doer for it from its own wording. Right? And sometimes English is all over the place. For example, in Arabic, you have the word tabaqa means what? He cook. And then you have the place that you cook in Arabic is the matbakh. In English is the kitchen. So you get you cooking and you get kitchen, right? The two of them. And then you get a person who cook. You can call him the cook or you call him the chef, right? Then you get a restaurant also that you go to eat the food that was cooked. And the mat'am, that is mat'am from ta'ama, from at'ama. The matbakh, sorry, the matbakh is the kitchen. That is related. Istaqama, we said, he became upright or he became straight. And remember, he and it can be the same. Yastaqimu, he became upright or he became straight or it became straight or becomes straight. Istaqim, when you command someone to be upright or to be straight. The istiqama is the uprightness or the straightness, right? When you talk about istiqama on the deen, right? Masjid Dar al-Istiqama, the masjid of uprightness. And the one that is fulfilling this verb, the doer of the verb, you call him mustaqim. So if he's fulfilling the meaning of uprightness, he's going to be upright. He's fulfilling the meaning of straight, is going to be mustaqim. So sirat mustaqim, straight line. From that word istaqama, going to be straight. Shahida, he witnessed. The word that came, we had shahid and shuhada. Right? It came from the word shahida, means he witnessed or testified. Yashhadu, he witnesses or testifies. Ishhad, you command someone to witness or testify. We did the past tense, the command form, right? Ishhad. Ishhad, witness or testify. Ishhad annahu la ilaha illallah. Testify that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah. And the shahada is the testimony. Shahada to tawheed, right? The testimony of tawheed. Shahid is the witness. Also, another word for shahid is, for witness is shahid. And shahid also can refer to martyr. And shuhada is the plural, witnesses or martyrs. And mashhud is the thing that you witness. The thing that you witness, you call it mashhud, right? Well, what is it? وَشَاهِدٍ وَمَشْهُودٍ in Surah Al-Buruj. By the witnesser and by the thing that is being witnessed. In qalaba, from the word yanqalib, he turns back. The past tense for it is inqalaba. The turning back or the overturn is, you call it inqilab, right? They use it to, like, for example, where they used to be, if you overthrow in a government, they get an inqilab, for example. Or if the sayyara overturn, inqilab. Words, apart from the three-letter words, the rest of it, the three-letter verbs, the rest of it, they have a pattern. So any word looking like yanqalibu, once you make sure it's like yanqalibu, the past tense for it going to look like inqalaba, and the noun of it, the verbal noun of it is going to be inqilab, like inqilab. So another example of, for yanqalibu, for example, like yantafi'u. Yantafi'u. So in ya and noon, those are the two extra, right? The ya for the mudari, the noon is extra. No, that is a different scale, sorry. That is on the scale intafa'a. Even another word on inqalaba. This got to be on the scale infa'ala. Inqalaba. Intaqala. Intaqala, no. The noon and is original. So that's on the scale ifta'ala. All right. If someone find one, come to mind, let me know. Aqib, heel, also can refer to the rear of something or an aftermath, the outcome of something. And the aqab, heels, and it can refer to the rears of something or the aftermath of something. And this is the same root that the word aqiba comes from, right? The aqiba, the consequence, is the aftermath, right? The outcome of something, from the same word. And the iqab, punishment, is the outcome for something bad. Some of the vocabulary. Yanqalibu is from the word qalb, right? It goes back to the word qalb. And qalb, why you call the qalb qalb? Because it's constantly flipping and turning, state, changing state. And the same word qallaba. Qallaba means to flip something. When you flip something else. Ya muqallib al-qulub. Thabbit qalbi ala dinik. وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ عَنْ مِلَّةِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ إِلَّا مَنْ سَفِهَ. The verb that we did, safiha, means to be ignorant or to be foolish. Now, one of the meaning of the verse, some of the mufassirin mention, وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ عَنْ, whoever turn away from, right? يَرْغَبُ عَنْ, to turn away from, to not desire something, right? مَنْ رَغِبَ عَنْ سُنَّتِي, same word, right? Man raghiba an sunnati. Whoever turn away from my sunnah is not from me. وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ عَنْ. Now when you turn away from, when you reject something or turn away from something, with raghiba, you use an. Right? But if you use fi, it turns the meaning opposite. If you say yarghabu fi, means you want or you desire. If you say yarghabu an, means you turn away from, or you didn't want, or you leave it off. وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ عَنْ مِلَّةِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ. And who turn away from the religion of Ibrahim illa, except man, the one who safiha nafsa, befools himself, right? He acted foolishly with regards to himself, or he carried himself upon a foolish matter, or upon a foolish act. And also it can mean, as we mentioned, acted ignorantly, right? Safiha goes back to foolishness and ignorance. وَأَنَّهُ كَانَ يَقُولُ سَفِيهُنَا عَلَى اللَّهِ شَطَطًا. This is in Surah Al-Jinn. The Safihuna, the foolish amongst us, كَانَ يَقُولُ, he used to say, عَلَى اللَّهِ, upon Allah, شَطَطًا. شَطَطًا means outrageous things that are far from the truth. ثُمَّ تَوَلَّيْتُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ. Tawalla, we mentioned, turn away. So tawalla means he turned away. Tawallaytum gonna be you turn away. Anytime a verb ends with the alif maksura, the ya without dot, you don't call it ya, you call it what? The broken alif maksura. When you add things to the verb, that alif maksura becomes ya. So you're not going to say tawallatum. You say tawallaytum, right? Tawallaytum. Like ra'a, he saw, I saw, ra'aytu. You're not going to say ra'atu. Ra'aytu. Thumma tawallaytum. Then you turn away. Min ba'di dhalik, after that. Ara'ayta in kadhaba wa tawalla. Have you seen if? Ara'ayta. Have you seen if kadhaba, he denies, watawalla, and turned away. There's Surah Alaq. وَإِذَا تَوَلَّى سَعَى فِي الْأَرْضِ لِيُفْسِدَ فِيهَا. وَإِذَا, and when tawalla, he turned away, sa'a fil ard, he strived through the land. To do what? Li, to yufsida, cause corruption, fiha, in it. وَلِكُلٍّ وِجْهَةٌ هُوَ مُوَلِّيهَا. Remember we mentioned the doer form for the word is what? Muwallin, or al-muwalli. Now this word muwallin, note it has a kasratain under it, right? That's because the verb ends with a weak letter. The verb have the alif maksur on it. But if you add something to this word, this kasratain going to be replaced with a ya. So that's the same word here. Huwa muwalliha. Walikullin, and for everyone, wijhatun is a direction. There is a direction. Remember, there is, we got to put it in. Huwa, he, muwalliha. Muwalli, he turns. Ha means it. Now remember we said this word, muwalli, walla means what? To turn something away. So where we get his face from? Because the fact that the word means you turning something away, it means it's implying something being turned away. Now we're talking about what? Direction for prayer. So what is it you're turning away or turning towards? You're turning your face towards the direction of the Qibla or the wijha. Walikullin, for everyone, wijhatun is a direction. Huwa muwalliha, he turns his face towards it. And remember we mentioned that in Arabic, there are verbs in Arabic that necessitates prepositions that the verb in English don't necessitate. And also, there are verbs that don't necessitate prepositions that in English you might necessitate. So you can say he turned his face to the Qibla without a preposition, as it's used here, right? Muwalliha. He turns towards it without putting the to. The preposition, the pronoun, the it is directly attached to the word. He didn't say muwallin ilayha, muwalliha. Now if all of that didn't process, what is the general meaning of the word muwallin? It came from the verb walla, right? It's just to expose you to the doer. Muwalla, walla, he turned away. The one who is turning away or turning something away is the muwallin. The muwallin. And we have a chapter we're going to deal with the doer, inshallah ta'ala. And we're going to come back to it. Should make it easier. قُلْ آمَنْتُ بِاللَّهِ ثُمَّ اسْتَقِمْ. Famous hadith. Say, I believe in Allah, thumma, then istaqim. Be upright. Istaqim. There's a command form, right? Istaqim. Liman sha'a minkum ay yastaqim. For whosoever amongst you wills to be upright. Liman sha'a minkum ay yastaqim. فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْ. The word here is shahida. Whoever witness the month minkum, from among you, فَلْيَصُمْهُ. Let him fast it. For now, just memorize this entire phrase. فَلْيَصُمْهُ means let him fast it. قَالُوا, they said, نَشْهَدُ, we testify, إِنَّكَ, indeed you are La Rasulullah. What's the purpose of the second la? Emphasis, right? We testify, indeed you are truly the messenger of Allah. And most of the time, the second la, it don't get translated, right? Most of the time, it don't get translated. Like in this is just a copy and paste translation. That you are indeed the messenger of Allah. Most of the verses I use Sahih International, but I didn't mention it because sometime I might change it around. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ كَتَمَ شَهَادَةً عِنْدَهُ مِنَ اللَّهِ. What's the word here? Shahada, right? Shahada. And for these examples that we give, you don't have to comprehend the entire sentence. Just focus on the word that we are trying to mention, to quote as an evidence or to put in a context. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ, who is more oppressive, مِمَّنْ كَتَمَ, than the one who conceals. So in these examples, you can learn it like that, in that bulk way. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ, who is more oppressive than the one who. Just know that entire portion means that for now. Katama means concealed. Concealed, shahadatan, a testimony. Indahu min Allah, a testimony that he has. Indahu, this testimony is with him and it's from Allah. So he has a testimony from Allah and he's hiding it from the people. وَلَا تَكْتُمُ الشَّهَادَةِ, and don't conceal the testimony. وَشَاهِدٍ وَمَشْهُودٍ, we mentioned that. وَإِذَا انْقَلَبُوا إِلَىٰ أَهْلِهِمْ انْقَلَبُوا فَكِهِينَ. What's the word here? Inqalaba. The reason I mention a lot of these examples out of Surah Al-Baqarah is so you can relate to the words, right? You can relate to the words and that's going to help to retain it. وَإِذَا انْقَلَبُوا, inqalabu, وَإِذَا, and when, inqalabu, they return to ahlihim, their family, inqalabu, they returned fakihin, joyfully. The word here is inqalaba, right? وَيَنْقَلِبُ إِلَىٰ أَهْلِهِ مَسْرُورًا. Now this one is past tense. Inqalaba, he returned, or he flipped back, or he went back, or he flipped over, or it flipped over. All of that can go back to the meaning of inqalaba. And they're going to be inqalabu. The present tense is yanqalibu, and he will return to his family, masrura. Now where we get the meaning of will, and there is no sa. We mentioned what we said about the present tense. Huh? No, will. He will return. But there is no sa yanqalibu or sawfa yanqalibu. The context talking about what? The day of judgment, right? The Jannah. He will return to his family rejoicing. Yanqalib ilayka al-basaru khasi'an. Right? Farji' al-basara. Yanqalib ilayka al-basar. Your sight will return to you. Will return to you humbled. That is in Surah Al-Mulk. Okay, so that's with the vocabulary, and inshallah ta'ala, we're gonna continue from here. Tomorrow we have the dual. So here we're gonna deal with the dual, some ruling pertaining to the dual, and also okay, the plural is in the next lesson. So this lesson we have the dual, and the plural is in the following lesson with regard and some ruling pertaining to the plural. And inshallah ta'ala, we're going to send out the PDF. Should be out by midnight, Maghrib or something, inshallah, depending. But tomorrow we're going to have some available for the students. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Review everything. We had a lot of cocktail expressions, right? Review it by yourself, go through the vocabulary, and if anything's still not clear, tomorrow before we start the class, let us know, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.